I must be honest with you. I feel mixed emotions because this is the second time in a row where WWE is getting ready for a big pay-per-view, and they don't even make their the majority of their matches until the week of the pay-per-view. Normally, I'm like, really? It's a disappointment factor. Because it's like, yeah, there's these feuds brewing, but at the same time, there wasn't anything announced for it. Like, they're not like, oh, this pay-per-view, this is going to happen, and continue to develop a storyline knowing that there's going to be a match at the pay-per-view. I don't know, I prefer it when they announce it weeks ahead of time that there's going to be this big match at the next pay-per-view, as opposed to the Monday right before the pay-per-view. Yet, this last Monday on Raw, they announced a ton of matches for this upcoming Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view. And it's making it sound like a really good pay-per-view. Hello, once again, I am John. Thank you for tuning into my wrestling views. Today is going to, based on what we saw on Raw and SmackDown this last week, I'm just going to kind of dive into getting ready for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. That's what this episode is going to be focused on. Starting with the basics. First of all, I said it for weeks, John Cena wasn't fired, and now it's been announced to everybody that John Cena indeed has his job back. The way Wade Barrett went about with it threw me off guard. It sounded like it was too easy. I was expecting there to be more to it, not just, oh, come face me, alright, you can be back as long as you're going to face me in a chairs match at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, and get to face Otunga tonight. I thought there was going to be more of a stipulation, especially for those of you who's tuned into my prior episodes when I kind of explained more then. So it threw me off guard, but John Cena is officially back in the company, even though, you know, obviously he never really left. And yep, big chairs match on the pay-per-view. Of course, this last Monday would have been the time to bring him back anyway, seeing that it was a Slammy Awards episode, and that John Cena was elected as Superstar of the Year, as if we all didn't see that coming already. Edge and Kane, hopefully with Kane supposedly tipping Paul Bearer over the edge, that just kind of eliminates this, what's getting to be really lame animosity between the two of them, as Edge is playing the mind games with Kane, with Paul Bearer. Also, I'm thinking, you know, Paul Bearer might have signed a short-term contract with the company. Maybe this is just their way of getting rid of him. The two big things I want to focus on, though, is, you know, obviously Randy Orton is facing The Miz in a tables match at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. But as announced this last Monday on Raw, it is now going to be John Morrison against Sheamus in a ladder match at TLC. Wow. John Morrison's an amazing athlete. I think it's fitting that he'll be in a ladder match. I'm kind of curious to see how Sheamus will be in a ladder match, but it should be a good match. Then they announced it's a #1 contendership for the WWE Championship, which in theory would be at the Royal Rumble. This is my theory. I don't know how it's going to happen, but unfortunately I'm pretty sure The Miz will beat Randy Orton in that tables match come TLC. And then John Morrison will beat Sheamus in the ladder match. It should be a great match, maybe even steal the show. With that said, what it's going to lead to is it'll be another classic Morrison-Miz rivalry, as they'll have their title match at the Royal Rumble, and then both Orton and Sheamus will be in the Royal Rumble match. And where I'm focusing here is Sheamus will be in the Royal Rumble match, and one of the surprise entrants has got to be Triple H, so then they can resume that rivalry from where it left off. That's where I'm thinking they're going to go with it. Let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. So yeah, TLC looking like it's going to be a good pay-per-view this year. As opposed to last year, every single match this year at the pay-per-view is either a tables match, a ladders match, or a chairs match, or in Edge and Kane's case, a TLC match. It was also announced it'll be Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler, and Kofi Kingston in a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It's going to be Lay Cool taking on Beth Phoenix and Natalya in a tables match. And then it was confirmed that it's also going to be Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio in a chairs match. Very interesting concept. I'm really excited for this pay-per-view. Just kind of my guesses there. I don't really know for sure who's going to win the Intercontinental title. Should be an exciting match. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's Kofi Kingston's time. Who knows? I'm also excited for SmackDown here coming up to see if they're going to make any last-minute changes or just where the road to TLC heads from there. Once again, I'm John. Thank you for tuning in.